Hello again. Welcome to our study, Full Disclosure, an Alien Agenda, session number 2. This is Road Signs and Detours. Obviously, we're road sign number 8. So, what is going on? Do we have full disclosure? Are we going to get full disclosure? And what is the agenda of the aliens, if there is one? Well, you're going to be surprised at what we show you. So, before we go any farther, we'll pray. Father, open our minds, our hearts, our spirits to understand the times in which we live and to prepare for your coming, for we realize that it comes nigh. Bless us in these things, and we will give you thanks and praise in Jesus' name. Road Signs Detours number 8, session 2. Is there an alien agenda? You see, the first thing we looked at is the fact that, there's going to be an agenda. It's going to be full disclosure, and the politicians have been talking about it, and we know that the government knows more than they're telling us. So we looked at our last session the fact that we have been slowly indoctrinated to understand that we are not alone. And it started in the 1950s and it has carried on for 70 some odd years. And so there is a very slow indoctrination or an education allowing people to understand through movies and sitcoms and dramas and all the rest of that. Hey, we're not here in this universe by ourselves. There is another group of folks out there. So let's look and see who in the world, who says they're coming. Says who? I mean, who in the world is going to be bold enough to say, yeah, they're coming and we're going to prepare for them? Who is actually saying that? They are. Let me prove it to you. So here's the question. What if? What if everything you had been taught about the Bible was scientifically proven? Now, that's the key word. Scientifically proven to be false. How do you scientifically prove the Bible false? Well, you can't. But what if someone begins to teach that the Bible was scientifically proven to be false? Well, all you hold dear regarding your salvation was proven to be wrong. That would be part of it as well. Would you relinquish your faith? Would you give up on your faith? Most of you are saying, no, I wouldn't. Okay, good for you. Would you embrace this new truth that's coming out? In other words, everything you've been taught is wrong and we've got a new truth. Would you embrace it? Well, guess what? New truth is on its way. It is in, as they say, transit. Well, here's the question. Are we alone? Are there other civilizations out there? Did God create other people in this universe? Well, if he did, and we realize God is sovereign, he could do what he wanted to do. So if he did, or if so, some other questions come up. Are they civilized? Sometimes I wonder if we are civilized. In many cases, we're not. So are they civilized? Are they sinful? Did they sin? They have a Garden of Eden. Was there an Adam and Eve alien? I know it sounds a little funny, and I know I polarize the crowd when I teach this. Everybody looks at the floor and starts laughing, or they look at me and they say, what do you know that we have already been thinking? Well, is there a Garden of Eden? Was there an Abraham, Isaac, Jacob? And, it goes on and on and on. The questions are endless. Was there another Adam and Eve? Did Jesus die for their sins as he did ours? It's a good question, because if they're sinful, then they need to be redeemed if they're God's creation. Now, what if they're sinless? What if they never sinned? Well, if he did, how many times did he provide for the redemption of man, or alien in this case? Did he do it once, or twice, or 50, or 100, or 1,000? Has he been doing it for millenniums of time, going to different places? The questions are endless, and guess what? There's no answers. There are no answers to these questions. But let's continue. And would he provide for redemption of other men on other planets or aliens? Okay, 10 million people claim to have been abducted by aliens. Now, what they say is so bizarre and so crazy, you can't wrap your mind around it, but the consistency and the frequency of their testimony, you cannot deny something is happening. In other words, it's proof of something that is unexplained. We don't know what happened. We know what they're saying, and the consistency of those statements and the frequency. 10 million people? It's a lot of people that say something happened to them, and they don't understand it themselves. Well, what if these abductions are demonic? What if those who are abducting are doing things, nefarious activities, with obviously for demonic reasons? There's another question for you to ponder. Fact. This is a fact now. Mount Graham, Arizona. Lucifer, L-U-C-I-F-E-R, yeah, a $2 billion telescope. And they called it purposely Lucifer. Who would do that? We know Lucifer is the number one angel who got kicked out, who is now, we know, the devil. Well, here's what we understand. We welcome extraterrestrials. I mean, that's the reason they put $2 billion in a telescope on Mount Graham. To do what? To watch for aliens. Are you kidding? Stay with us. On Mount Graham, here's what we find out. The Catholic Church, now this is the Catholic Church that operates 3 large, powerful telescopes that are equipped with infrared technology that currently no one else has. They are able to see farther than Hubble itself. That's staggering to think about it. For years, the Vatican astronomers have been observing what they call extraterrestrial craft that are headed toward our planet. Now, these are the Vatican astronomers. These are not Johnny-come-latelys. These are PhDs. These are rabbis in the Vatican sense, if you will. And these are educated men that believe wholeheartedly that what they are looking at through their telescope that only they own, the Vatican astronomers, the Vatican rabbis, if you will, are seeing things only they can see, and they are assured they are extraterrestrial craft. And guess where they're coming? Yeah, here. Their conclusions? Most disturbing. The Catholic Church is waiting the arrival. The arrival of what? Our space brothers. Our brothers from space. Our brothers from a different planet. You're kidding, right? No, they're not kidding. An arrival of sinless beings. Now, there's a clincher right there. If they are sinless, then they know God differently than we do. They don't need a redeemer. We do, and we need him more and more every day. But the arrival of sinless beings, man, that makes it all a little strange to comprehend. A more complete understanding of the Gospels, obviously they would have it because, hey, they're not sinful. Now, somebody asked the question, if they're not sinful, then why are they doing all these nefarious things to these 10 million people? Well, those questions have not been answered. And they understand they have a better relationship with the Creator. It only makes sense if they are sinless. They know God in a different way than we do. Now let's continue. Well, according to the Vatican now, this is according to the Vatican. You can check this out. They are space brothers. They're sinless. They're sent to instruct us. Well, disbelief of this is complete ignorance on our part. You see, Jesus was, and this is their term now, Jesus was a star child. What does that mean? Well, they won't answer that question either, but Jesus was a star child. Amazing. I thought he was the very Son of God. He was. But I don't see anywhere in any scripture that says he was a star child. Yeah, Space Brothers completely sent it. They're here to help us. They're here to instruct us and teach us good stuff. And disbelieve, you can disbelieve if you want to. That makes you ignorant. And don't forget now, Jesus was a star child. Mount Graham, Arizona, is the most sacred site to the American Indians. It is a stargate. It's a gateway, a portal, if you will, to other dimensions. This is where the paranormal activity abounds. It's a portal where other worldly entities enter and exit this world. It's like a doorway, if you will. This is a specific location where, according to Indian legend, now this is according to Indian legend, this is what they state. For the time, before time, large silver disc descended down over the mountain. And in the disc was a bearded man who was the creator, who then began to create all that is upon the earth. Soon after this, another came from the disc who wasn't a man, was a dragon. He began to deceive the populations of the world. After this, other owl-like men came along with other giants who began to kill men. Prayer to the sun god saved them. Oh, okay, obviously that's an Indian legend, but understand exactly what they're saying. A large silver disc, giants. Okay, statement by Vatican astronomer Father Giuseppe Tanzilla Dini. He's passed away some time ago, but here's what he said. Now read this very carefully with me. Christians will not immediately need to renounce their faith in God simply on the basis of the reception of this new unexpected information of a religious character from extraterrestrial civilizations. Well, there's a mouthful in that sentence. He goes on. However, once this religious content originating from outside the earth has been verified, they will have to conduct a rereading of the Gospels inclusive of this new data. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Read it again. However, once this religious content originating from outside the earth has been verified, they will have to conduct a rereading of the Gospels inclusive of this new data. In other words, we got it wrong. Really? And the aliens are here to straighten us out? And you can read something else into that. We've had a Bible in our laps for the last 2 millennia, and it's wrong. But God has sent the aliens to help us get it right. Is that what he's saying? Vatican astronomer. This is no Johnny come lately. This is a PhD. It's a very intelligent man. It continues. According to the Vatican astronomer, very soon the nations of the world are going to look to the aliens for their salvation. Whoa. They're aliens for their salvation? They're going to save us? This is the papal astronomer Guy Consolmagno. This is no Johnny come lately. He's a very intelligent man. He is a papal astronomer. Read it again. Very soon the nations of the world are going to look to the aliens for their salvation? What happened to Jesus? Oh, I'm sorry. He's a star child, but he's not the Son of God. Is that what they're saying? Disbelief. I don't believe it. Most of you don't either. Well, ignorance of the facts is foolishness, at least to them. You can be ignorant of it. That doesn't make it wrong. It means you're just foolish. Denying God's sovereign right, nobody would want to do that. And you don't dare deny God's sovereign right to do what he will. He could have, he could. He could have created a whole race of aliens out there somewhere in the far reaches of space that we can't get to. You never want to put limit on God's creative ability. Can't do that. The aliens are here now, and they are morally superior. Morally superior to us. And once again, somebody says, "Okay, I was abducted over and over and over again, and they did all sorts of very, very invasive things to me, and you're telling me they're morally superior?" That question doesn't get answered. Well, being sinless, they have a more complete understanding of God. You remember now, they've never sinned, so they are sinless. They're coming here to baptize us. Oh, wait a minute. My baptism as a kid didn't work, so now E.T. is going to baptize me? Now, this sounds crazy. This sounds like something out of a cartoon. It's not. This comes from the Vatican. Everything we think we know about the gospel have to be thrown out. Sorry, I'm not doing that. However, and this is great. This is good. You ready for this one? Their arrival will not challenge the authority of the Roman Catholic Church. Okay, but they have it right and the aliens have it right. Okay, fine. Let's continue this incredible set of circumstances. Well, there's the setup. You remember the day the earth stood still? We had alien visitors, and yeah, we're here to teach you, and we're here to help you, and you are not alone. See, that's what we have been set up to believe and understand. They're here to help. They've been here for decades and decades, even hundreds of years, and they look just like you, or maybe your neighbor. You're not alone. That's the whole key. You are not alone. So what if they arrive? Well, what if they appear human? And remember, the day the Earth stood still, Michael Rennie walks out of the spaceship after the big rubber guy, and he's standing there and he says, I look just like you, and I act just like you, and I want to talk to the leadership. Where's the Congress? Where's the Senate? Let me talk to those guys. And what if they're willing to help? What if they're willing to share technology? Hey, listen, we can do this, and that. We'll teach you how. And oh, by the way, we're sinless and we're here to evangelize you. We'll get it right. In other words, for the last 2,000 years, you've been preaching the wrong gospel. We know because we are sinless. You get what's coming here. This is an incredible setup. 2 Thessalonians 2:9. Even him whose coming is after the work of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. There is coming a day. There is coming a day when man will be deceived. The deception will be so cleverly crafted and so articulately designed that men of letter, people of education, will not see it for what it is. It's coming. How do we know that? It's already here. Luke 21:11. And great earthquakes shall be in divers places. In other words, many places, and famines, and pestilence, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. Men's hearts failing them, and for fear, looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Well, this is going to conclude our study. We'll pick this up in session number 3, but understand something. These things could very well happen. There could be full disclosure. Now, how they'll do this, when they'll do this, in what way, and how gradually or automatically CNN will pick it up and say, oh, by the way, there's a spaceship on the White House lawn, and they're there, and they're talking to the president. It could be that blunt. It could be that powerful. What do you do when you can walk up to the spaceship and touch it, knock on it? What happens when somebody opens up the spaceship and they come walking down the gangplank there and they look like your favorite Hollywood person? What do you do now? We'll figure that out in our next session. We'll see you then.